Good afternoon, ma'am. Good evening, everybody. We'll just wait for a few minutes. There are a lot many registrations happened and everybody is joining in. So give us 5 minutes, we'll begin soon. Thank you for your patience. Good afternoon, Swati ma'am. Good afternoon, Manimala ma'am. Hafeez sir is also joining. Hafeez sir, he has joined. Hello, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, Hafeez sir.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Yeah. Unmute Swati ma'am.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mazumdar. How are you, sir?
Namaste, namaste, Hafeez. How are you? Fine, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. How are you? Everything okay?
Fine, fine. I and my wife are stationed now in Norway.
Hello, Mr. Hafeez. This is Swati. I know it's been a long time since we are chasing you, and finally today we are meeting online.
Yes,
Although
yes.
we would have very much liked you to visit our campus, but
Wow.
be as it may,
It's nice
it
talking
is
to
a
you.
good
It's nice
beginning.
talking to you. I hope you all find whatever the talk, interesting and nice. I hope.
Yes, of course, undoubtedly. We are very happy that you were at least able to address the students online. Dr. Gauri is the director of the School of Architecture.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
in fact, on my backdrop, you will see a picture of our university.
I've seen your college, quite a lot of times. It's a nice structure.
Yeah, it goes well with the theme of Pune with its stone-clad buildings.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. I've seen what we have done for Symbiosis campus, in Nagpur. I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah, I was there for the
Yeah. Correct.
inauguration. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very beautiful, as all your projects are, needless to say.
Very much. Thank you very much. Thanks to your father. Thanks to your father.
Yes, of course.
Yes. He is the guiding spirit behind uh, all the buildings and everything. So that's
You have been able to capture his vision very well in the Nagpur campus.
thank you.
So we'll just wait for next 2 minutes. There are a lot many participants who are joining in, still joining in.
Yeah.
So
No
many
hassle.
registrations have happened from all over India. So we thought we'll just wait for 2 more minutes and then we'll begin
Okay.
with the formal process.
So you have opened this up to all the architecture students, Dr. Gauri?
Yes. Because it's a very rare opportunity to listen to his journey directly from him. So we keep reading about his journey
It's
till
not
date.
really a
So
journey. It's I would say journey about my profession.
yes.
So let's. It's still going on, and but I think every day is a new learning curve, and that's what I would like to impress upon all the students. So see, I hope.
When we conceptualized the school, we had set up an advisory, and Mr. Ramanath Jha was one of those people who helped us to conceptualize this school of architecture, urban planning, and development. So this school is kind of unique because it not only deals with architecture but also with urban planning. And because of so many cities getting declared as smart cities, there's a huge requirement of students who can contribute in those areas. And Dr. Gauri is doing great job providing leadership to this department. Recently, we also had the president of the Council of Architecture. He also addressed all the students and staff.
What's the name of the president? The previous president or the present one?
Yeah, the present one, architect Habib Khan.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And he'll be addressing the next in this series is architect Habib Khan, President Council of Architecture. He'll be speaking about his journey on 24th of October, next Saturday. So
Okay.
So we have taken up this different kind of a series where all you great architects and who have created milestones in Indian architecture will be speaking about their journey, and which will be really very inspiring for all the students of architecture and all these budding young architects. So
So we have only one division of 40 students. This is the third year of the School of Architecture, and it's recognized by the council, of course. And we have a really bright bunch of students. And the unique feature of their school is that every year they send the students for a 2 months internship. And of course, in the final year, 6 months. So Gauri students have really got great opportunity for internships in the last 3 years. Some of them have even worked on a research project just in their second year of architecture. So Gauri, maybe you can tell Mr. Hafeez about what you're doing for your department.
Yes, it's actually so. Every year they have this 2 month summer internship, which is compulsory for them because ours is a skills university, and uh, we are focusing on experiential learning or learning by doing. Every year we have kept a different focus every year for the internship. Like after first year, the students are supposed to work under allied professionals. They can work under a graphic designer or a carpenter or a plumber or electrician or any of the allied professionals, and learn a new skill in the first year, and also understand the different facets of architecture. After second year, they're supposed to uh, work hands on site. So we have tie-ups with certain firms which are into traditional building techniques and traditional building materials, where they are only working hands-on in Auroville or in Laurie Baker at Laurie Baker Center, Cosford, or with Habitat Technologies, where they absorb our students, and they just work in on the site and not in any office. And after third year, they are supposed to work in a modular kitchen or modular furniture factory, where they understand the entire process of designing, manufacturing, and execution of modular interiors in 2 months. And then after fourth year, they are supposed to go and work under a registered architect, so that they have this practical exposure at every stage, right from their first year. So that is one initiative we have taken up to bridge the gap between academics and profession, which is being expressed by every other professional, and it's a major concern nowadays. So this is one way we are trying to address the concern. There are many more other methodologies which we are following in the entire curriculum, and I would like you to visit sometimes and actually see what all things we are doing and give you valuable inputs on that.
Okay. I will definitely like to come and uh, what you're saying, and I like that you are affiliating people with traditional ways of construction, but I would also like uh, 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 they are more exposed to what are the futures of
Yes, yes, yes,
this is what has happened in the past, but what is the future?
yes, yes,
Why we have to look at the future?
yes, yes,
Anyway,
yes.
that's
So sir, we are slowly developing. This is just the third year when the students have gone for internships, and we have many more plans which are on the cards, and we are working on it right now. So
okay. Okay.
I think we'll begin, ma'am.
Yes, yes, please.
Yes.
Sir is also ready, so.
Yeah. Meenal, can you please?
Yes, ma'am.
So we'll begin with the Saraswati Vandana as our tradition. Okay. Can you share the screen, please, Meenal?
Yes, ma'am.
कुन्देन्दु तुषारहार धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रामृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युत शङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा।
A very good afternoon to all of you. Honorable Chancellor Sir Dr. S.B. Muzumdar, respected Pro-Chancellor Ma'am Dr. Swati Muzumdar, respected Vice Chancellor in charge Madam Dr. Manimala Puri, our most valued invited guest Architect Hafeez Contractor, my colleagues, faculties and students attending this webinar. We, School of Architecture, Urban Development and Planning, have initiated a talk series, Creative Pursuits, An Architect's Journey. The talk series focuses on the journey of successful architects. The talk is supposed to be about his or her journey from a student of architecture to becoming a successful architect. He, she can share their inspirations, aspirations, failures, victories, and philosophy. They will also throw light upon the mistakes the young budding architects should avoid, how they should prepare themselves for the challenges in the profession, and how they can design a bright future for themselves and also contribute to nation building. We are sure all these stories will be of great inspiration to many. Now I would like to call upon our respected Vice Chancellor in charge, Dr. Manimala Puri, to give a welcome address. Dr. Manimala Puri is MTech from NIT Kurukshetra and PhD from Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, Delhi. She has over 30 years of experience in strategic planning, academic operations, brand building, teaching, and was also deputed as Director, All India Council of Technical Education, that is AICT. She is an expert member of peer committee of NBA Delhi, author of several books, and has published papers in engineering and management. Madam, over to you.
Thank you, Gauri. Good evening, everybody. It is my privilege to extend a very warm welcome to all of you for this special session under the talk series arranged by the School of Architecture, Urban Development and Planning, Symbiosis Skills and Professional University, Pune. I extend a hearty welcome to Dr. S.B. Majumdar sir, our beloved Chancellor, Dr. Swati Mazumdar, our Pro-Chancellor, and Padma Bhushan awardee, Architect Hafeez Contractor, the special guest for this session, who will speak on creative pursuits and architect's journey. I'm sure that this session is going to impart a lot of information and knowledge shared to all the students of architecture and create further interest in them. I welcome all the architects, guests, directors, faculty members, and students of SSPU and all other participants who are attending this program and wish you a good takeaway from this program on creative pursuits and architect's journey. Welcome and wish you a very good session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam. Dr. Swati Mazumdar is an international TVET and higher education expert. She is a policy advisor in skill development and has served as chairperson of Skill Development and Vocational Education Committee of Maharashtra State Government. She founded the two pioneering skill development universities of India, Symbiosis Skills and Professional University Pune and Symbiosis University of Applied Sciences Indore. She has partnered with top industries to provide skill training and experiential learning to students, and also established learning factories and centers of excellence on the campus, which is a unique feature in India. I would now request our respected Pro-Chancellor, Dr. Swati Mazumdar, Madam, to address everybody.
Welcome to Honorable Chancellor as well as the chief guest for today's session, Architect Hafeez Contractor. I am really delighted that you have managed to carve out time from your busy schedule. I am personally a witness to your magical hands when you transformed Mazumdar Sir's vision into one of the most beautiful Symbiosis campuses at Nagpur. And I urge everyone, whenever possible, if they happen to be in Nagpur, to go and see the creation of Mazumdar Sir and Architect Hafeez, which has really created a landmark in this part of the country. Sir, it's really our privilege that you accepted our invitation. As I was mentioning to you before the session started, this university was created with the objective of developing skills along with knowledge, which is so much required to make students job ready as well as become self-employed upon completing their courses at the university. And this university was established as an act of the government of Maharashtra in 2017. So it is about 4 years old. And we have the third batch of architecture. Now the fourth batch is enrolling. It's a fledgling school, but under Dr. Gauri's leadership, it's doing very well. The students are extremely bright and talented. And as I mentioned to you, we are providing internships every year, which is again a very unique feature which gives our students a lot of hands-on practical training while they are still pursuing their program at the university. We are trying our best even at the university to focus a lot on giving practical training to the students. So more than 70% of our teaching learning pedagogy is about hands-on practical training. And as always, Symbiosis has been known for its excellence in education. We draw a huge legacy from our parent institution created by our founder and president. This university is also striving hard to not only develop that legacy, but also to couple it up with industry required skills, which will make our students completely job ready and self-employable entrepreneurs upon completing the architecture program. I'm sure that today's session will be not only informative, but inspirational to not only the students of our university, but hundreds of other students who have logged in today for this webinar. I hope that they have a lot to learn from your journey, from your experiences, and be able to succeed in their own chosen path of career. I once again thank you on behalf of Symbiosis and all the staff and faculty for taking out time We do hope once this COVID pandemic situation is eased out, that you can visit personally, because to see is to believe, as they say. And more than ever so, because you are an architect of international repute, we would love that you come and see the piece of architecture that the university campus is, and give your suggestions and input to all the teachers and students at the university. Thank you, sir, and welcome again.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Our Honorable Chancellor, sir, Dr. S.P. Muzumdar, the person who needs no introduction. He is the founder and president of Symbiosis, a multinational, multilingual, and multidisciplinary educational complex of repute, and also the president of Symbiosis Open Education Society. Realizing the importance of distance education, he established SCDL, Symbiosis Center of Distance Learning, which conducts a number of online courses and has over 2 lakh students from India and abroad. He is also the chancellor for both our skills universities. He is the recipient of many awards, including the prestigious Padma Shri in 2005 and Padma Bhushan in 2012 by the Government of India. He is also a recipient of the first Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Memorial Award. Sir, we are blessed to have you here. I request you to please say a few words and bless us.
Thank you, Gauri. Dr. Swati, Chancellor of Symbiosis Skills and Professional University, our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Parimala, Dr. Hafeez, Contractor. I say deliberately Dr. Hafeez, Contractor, because he deserves to be called doctor, but he deserves doctorate of any good university. Faculty and my dear friends, I'm really happy that we have invited Hafeez, Contractor to deliver a lecture on a very interesting topic, creative pursuits and architect journey. I know Hafeez for many years. We have been interacting with each other on several projects. And if you want to know the creativity and imagination of Hafeez, Contractor, you should see the Symbiosis University campus at Nagpur. It has been executed by Hafeez, Contractor in a wonderful way, beautiful. Whenever I interact Hafeez, Contractor, sometimes I feel that he is not only an architect, but he is an artist. I will go to the extent of saying that he is a poet, because it is his imagination to conceive the design of a building and ultimately actualize his imagination into reality. I do feel that architect of any country carries the culture and heritage of that country. For example, if you go to the South India, you will find beautiful temples, and you marvel the way ancient temples were created by Indian artists. And temple architecture reflects the culture, the traditions, and heritage of Indian culture. What I want to emphasize is that architecture of any country, buildings which are constructed by architects in any country, reflect the culture and tradition of our country. Therefore, one requires great imagination, a great, what should I say, a great insight, deep study traditions and culture of that particular country. Now, when India was enjoying, what should I say, the beauty and ecstasy that in the past, the art flourished. And therefore, building, buildings of palaces, the buildings of temples were created by whom? Not by students who had undergone formal education in any university. But I do believe that those artists, wonderful artists, creative artists, were, were responsible for creation of those temples and palaces by sheer skills which were imitated out of experience. And therefore I wonder whether architect the course should confine to classroom teaching. It is necessary, therefore, that one has to train under guru like Hafeez Contractor. Guru days, there was Gurukul system of education. There is to be a great sage or a rishi sitting in his ashram, and few students used to sit before him and take practical lessons from him. I am sure that Hafiz belongs to one of those architectural rishis of our country because whenever you interact with him, you find a great erudition, experience, and as I repeatedly keep telling people, he has a wonderful imagination. Sometimes, whenever we used to discuss the plans of our building, he will take a sketch pen and on plain paper, he will do something. I was wondering what is he doing. But ultimately, what he was sketching on the paper was actualized in beautiful buildings. So I do feel that our students must not go through the books of architecture, but they should also study the great architects which country has produced. Besides, of course, studying our Indian culture. Take, for example, the invasion of Muslims changed the entire architecture. And if you ask me, in various eras, Muslims came, then Britishers came, and these foreign invaders also brought with them their culture, their traditions, and those cultures and traditions were reflected in architecture. So I would say that Hafeez Contractor, the one who not only imagines the plan of a particular building, but he has his own style, he has his own views about any building which he is going to construct. For example, I do remember that in Bombay, now it is called Bombay, he had suggested, now for example, it is corporation which decides what should be the FSI. But I do remember Dr. Hafeez Contractor's interview long ago, which was published in Times of India. And Bombay must grow, buildings must grow vertically. Because in the island, in island vertical buildings is the only solution to lessen the condition. This is what he feels when it comes to building in large cities like Bombay. But while constructing educational buildings, I noticed that there is a great educationist in Hafeez Contractor because he understands the requirements of that particular educational uh, project. I do not know how the architect, concept of architecture will change from time to time. Now, for example, nowadays you can see large buildings of hotels. They're very Lee and I must tell you that Lee is a hallmark of Pune. Now it is called Sheraton. Hafeez was the contractor of that hotel. But now I wonder what will be the kind of architecture after this COVID pandemic. Post-pandemic, I wonder whether the large buildings, large hotel buildings with hundreds and thousands of rooms will be relevant in post-COVID era. Because I do believe that large get-togethers, large number of customers staying in different rooms in a big building, in a big hotel, will continue. So I will urge Dr. Hafeez Contractor to throw some light on what will be the architect, what will be the face of architecture in post-COVID era. That will also help our students to understand how the architecture changes from time to time. I do not want to take much of your time, but Hafeez, I'm really happy, thankful to you for accepting our university's invitation. And I'm sure your journey in the profession of architecture will inspire our students and you will be a role model of many budding architects of our institution. Thank you, Hafeez, for separating your time and you are going to inspire our students, ignite the minds of our students so that they will become future Hafeez contractors of our country. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your words of wisdom. Now it's time. It's my pleasure and it's my honor to introduce our today's chief guest, the one and only architect Hafeez Contractor. Architect Hafeez Contractor, who needs no introduction to the fraternity, completed his architectural studies from the Academy of Architecture in Mumbai and from Columbia University in New York. His education and career, however, began far earlier in 1968 when he worked as apprentice and later associate with Kharegat for a decade, post which he set off to establish his independent practice. The recipient of over 75 national and international awards for his contribution to architecture, also a recipient of the prestigious Padma Bhushan Award for his contribution in architecture fraternity in 2016. The architect, who has had his share of detractors and followers alike for his difficult to ignore creations, strongly believes that architecture should be honest and should respond to the spirit of time characterized by distinct ideas, disparate missions, contrasting convictions, and divergent preferences. Architecture should be based on current demand. The man behind Imperial Tower 1 and 2, Mumbai's tallest completed high-rises, looks up to Le Corbusier and also admires the structures and design of Ampey's Louvre Pyramid. Their designs are functional and aesthetic at the same time, he says of the two illustrious architects. Today, with over 4 decades of successful stint in architecture and innumerable projects to his credit, architect Hafeez Contractor had just not grown only as well-known face in architecture fraternity for his avant-garde and surrealistic designs, but also a man whose design approaches are in response to current demand. His vision has given a new meaning to high-rise construction in India. He believed that architecture should be honest and respond to the spirit of times. Again, I mentioned this, characterized by distinct ideas, disparate mission, contrasting conviction, and divergent preferences. Once again, a warm welcome from all of us, Hafeez sir. I now request you to please address all the participants. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. No. Good afternoon, everybody. Dr. S.B. Mazumdar, sir, founder, chairman of Symbiosis. And I must say that, sir, every time I meet you, I have to learn something new from you. And I always learn something new, and which amazes me every time I meet you. And I'm not saying it just for the sake of saying. Dr. Swati Mazumdar, Dr. Puri, Vice Chancellor, and Dr. Gauri. Thank you, everyone, for inviting me over here. And I am really happy to be talking to students, because I really feel that when I was a student, and when famous architects used to come and talk to us, it was something which I still remember and cherish. And today morning only, while shaving, I was remembering one of the lectures that Dale Keller had given when I was in academy and when I was in my second year. With this, I would say that, today's talk, I'm not just going to talk about my journey, but, the way, yes, it is my journey and my journey work. And why I have selected this topic, I feel that and learn architecture in colleges. And we have good colleges, good teachers, and who will definitely teach each and everyone and guide in the right direction. But there are certain things which no college teaches, and that only a student will learn after a hell of a lot of years of experience. And today I would like to say that what I'm going to say is not just that I have learned it and I adopted it. A lot of them I learned it. A lot of them I created mistakes. And that I would like to tell all the students that do not commit such mistakes. And as Dr. S.B. Mazumdar has said to me that I should talk about post-COVID, what should it be? And this is the most important point today in everybody's life. What is post-COVID, and what is about the climate change? And that is going to determine the future of this world. So I would like to talk about that also. With this, if you allow me, I would like to start my presentation. Rather than just talk, I thought that being an architect and with all students of architecture, everyone would like to see slides and which talk about my buildings also, and why I did and for what reasons I did. Everything for me has to have a reason. If it doesn't have a reason, then it's not the right thing to do. So whatever I have done is for a reason. Yes, there has been a God's hand which has always guided consciously or unconsciously. As far as I'm concerned, absolutely unconsciously. But that also has played a very, very important role. with this, let me start.
Sir, you can share screen now.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, so this is a slide which was, the New York Times had covered us because of our work, what we did for the slum redevelopment. And that's what they said, the man who draws India. And that is what the New York Times said it. And I was very happy that a New York Times had to write an article of 2 pages completely. And it's always, people in your own country would not appreciate, but people in other country have appreciated, which is, very, very heartening. Okay. I was not cowed out, or you may say that, when I came back from my school, no architectural college was even giving me a form to get admitted into architectural college. And when these are some of my works, which a lot of you can see it in different magazines. And as everybody knows that, I'm a proponent of high rise, because I always say that land is a precious commodity and which cannot be produced. Everything else in the world can be produced. And how to use land judiciously is the most important thing for a country like India. And large buildings, small buildings, everything, we take it in its own stride. Okay, but as a small kid, I always used to like designing. And in school, I always used to draw guns, tanks, forts, and that was my pastime. And I was not a good student. So when I was in the 4th standard, one day one of my teacher, Mrs. Gupta, beat me up and says, "You're not studying." But she said that, okay, but remember one thing, that when you grow up, become an architect, don't do anything else. So that was what I started with, but nobody was giving me admission. So I wanted to join the army, and my mother requested me, please don't join. So I said, okay, I'll join the police force. So she requested me that at least graduate, do your graduation and then join the police force. So I went to Jai Hind College. Jai Hind College was good enough to give me admission. And I used to take French tuitions from my cousin's wife. And my cousin was an architect, he's still an architect. And so one day he was not there, neither she was there. And one of the architects was drawing a window detail. And today we don't draw a window detail, we get ready-made windows. So when I told that guy that your window will not open, and we had a bet. And when my cousin came, cousin saw it, and cousin said that, oh, how do you know it? I said, this has been my pastime. He asked me to draw a window detail, which I drew it. Then he asked me to design a house, which I did it. So he told me that stop everything, join architecture today. With my another cousin, I got a letter of recommendation from Dr. Dallas. And with that, I went to Mr. Wandrekar, the principal of academy. And he said that, okay, with your marks, I can't give you the form, But since Mr. Dallas has recommended, I am allowing you to enter for the entrance exam. If you do well, I will allow you to join architecture. In entrance exam, I got A plus, and to everybody's great surprise, afterwards, in school, I used to always be first from the backside. In architecture, I started standing first or second. With this, I started realizing, oh my God, this is what it is. This is what it is. Okay. So for me, architecture was, inbuilt, and, I was destined to join architecture. But when I had joined architecture, I realized a lot of my friends who had done much, much better in SSC and all the other classes, and when they were in architecture, they were at a loss. And I was really surprised. And I realized that architecture is really not meant for everyone. For me, it was the most easiest profession. But for a lot of people, it was the most difficult profession. So it is because, it's not like other subject that, yes, you have to study, you have to do. But if you're not cowed for it, if you cannot imagine, God has not gifted you that imagination power, you can do what you like, but you will not be in the right place. So my advice, and this is what I used to give a lot of advice when I used to teach at academy, and when I found that the student, he was a very intelligent student, but he did not have that caliber of imagination. So I would tell him that, my dear fellow, I think you are not in the right profession. You should join something else. So this is how, for me, then though at academy, I learned a lot, but that was what I learned in the classroom. One of the days, what I would say that, what is it that, I have learned from Columbia, which I will never forget. At Columbia, we were supposed to give our handouts on the date that was given to us on day one. But one day, my teacher, Stan Eckstein, came to our class around about 10:30 in the night. And that was a little bit of a lean day. I had just left the class, and he came and gave a program that this is to be done. And tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, which is the first class, you are supposed to submit it. I had already gone to my room. I'd gone to sleep. When I came back in the morning, everybody was running around, and I said, what's happened? What happened? He said, Stan had come last night and he's given this problem, and we are supposed to submit it at 8 o'clock. So I said, that's not fair. So I went to Stan, and I said, Stan, I had just left and you came and this and that and that. So Stan said, oh, Hafeez, it's okay. So I said, thank you, Stan. So Stan said, don't thank me. You get a 0 for it. I said, why? It's not fair. So Stan just told me one thing which I will never, ever forget in my life. And that you should remember. Stan said, Hafeez, just imagine there was a job going in the city. You are not there. You don't get the job. You get a 0 for this marking. My dear, I can never forget this. So be at the right place at the right time. That is the first lesson that I would like to tell you. Okay. You have to be there at the right place at the right time. Second, when I was working with Kharegat, at that time, times were very difficult, jobs were very small, And one of the ladies had contacted us from Pune. I remember she was a wife of one of the owners of a factory, and she came and told us that, Mr. Karegar, I would like you to design a house for me. And very nice lady, beautiful, sari, everything. And we had designed a nice house for her, and we showed it to her. And she sat through the whole presentation, but she said, Mr. Karegar, I'm not looking for a house like that. So we said, okay, let us meet, after about 6 or 7 days. And we did another design, and we showed it to her, and she still did not like it. But then after about 10 minutes or so, she opened her purse and took out a small cutting and said, Mr. Karegar, I would like to have a house like this. And it was a Spanish bungalow, in Spanish design. And my boss and my uncle said, oh, this is not what an architect does. This is not right, this, that. And she reluctantly, and unhappy, she got up and said, thank you very much. And she left. I told my cousin, why can we not design the way she wants? She wants something and we want to give her something else. This is not correct. And my cousin fired me, and he said that, oh, you are not, this is not what an architect does. You're not a good architect, this. But I have not forgotten. And I always say that as an architect, you are giving service, and you should be giving something with your caliber, give the right thing, but what the person desires and what he will be happy with. So this is another principle in my life. And I always compared, a lot of times, everybody compares an architect with an artist. But I'll tell you, an architect's profession is much, much more difficult than an artist. An artist will take any type of canvas. An artist can, whereas, an architect, you are supposed to have a plot, you're supposed to have bylaws, you're supposed to have, fire laws, you're supposed to have. Time is your constraint, because the client has bought a plot, the client has invested, and he will want things faster. As an artist, I can take any amount of time. I can draw a person with two eyes or four eyes or one eye. I can paint him red, blue, green. I have norms as an architect. And to me, I feel that as an architect, it's a supreme creation, because that creation will be there for hundreds of years, and people will use it and be happy with the building. So as soon as I started, I joined the college. I was lucky that my college was a morning college. I used to go to college at 7 o'clock in the morning, and my classes were up to 9:30. By 10:30, I would go to my office and work the whole day. And from 6:30 in the evening to about 12:15 in the night, I would work in the office, do my work, finish my homework, catch the last bus, and go back home. This was my schedule, and I used to tell everyone that, oh my God, I have never seen sunlight near my house. And that is what it was all about. Now, after joining, I worked in Karegar's office from the time I joined my college, and I was doing everything in that office. When the peon was not there, I would sweep the floors. When the typist is not there, I will go and get the letter type. And when the boss was not there, I was the boss. So I did everything. But for a small misunderstanding of color scheme, I separated from Karegar, because, I had recommended for a building, black and white was the color scheme, and my boss wanted gray and white. And the clients selected black and white. And my boss said that, oh, you change your stand. I said, I already told him, let him do what he likes. And on that difference of black and white to gray and white, my boss said that, oh, from today, you will not handle a job on your own. And I said that I used to come to office at 6 o'clock in the morning afterwards when I had started working with him. And so I said, Thomas, when I'm coming to office, you're sleeping. When I'm leaving, you're already gone to sleep. I want to grow. I want to do more work. So then in that way, so he was unhappy. I separated. I started my office in 1982 with 2 people in the same premises where I am today. Today we are more than 600. So how it all started. The first thing that I have realized, and mind you, it is not that I was brilliant or anything, that I, before starting, I had all of these dictates already in my mind. But as I said that, there was a hand of God which made me do certain things. And the first thing that I believed is to listen to your client. And a lot of times I have met clients who would be asking unimaginable demands. But I would tell in my own mind and say, my God, what is he asking for? What is he asking for? But I never said it. But as soon as he would leave, I would apply my mind. And I have realized that the most absurdest demand that a person is asking from you, if you apply your mind, you will get the answer. So first, listen to your client and what he wants, and don't rubbish his wants as absurd. No, they are not absurd. They are a demand, and that is a requirement. Apply your mind, and the mind will come up with the answer. So, very, very famous man of Pune, Rajneesh. Rajneesh ashram people one day came to my office. And I think it was in my second year of my practice, and he had come, and I had heard that he has architects, engineers, everybody from all over the world. So I was really surprised why he selected me. And 2 people came and says, oh, Osho has selected you and he wants you to design his new ashram. I was very happy. And I said, okay, let's meet after 4 days. I did some work, this, and I showed it to them. They said, oh, wow, beautiful. They took it. And by afternoon of the next day, I will get a call. And they said that, oh, Osho likes it, but he says that this is not what he wants. So, and again, second time it happened, and I told them that, oh, why can I not meet Osho? So they says, no, Osho doesn't meet anybody. So I said, if I can't meet a person, I can't talk to him, I can't understand him, how can I design his buildings? So then next time they came up with a very thick book, and in that book, there was a small photograph as big as a stamp, a postage stamp. And on a yellow paper, they had written, Osho had written, black on black, blue tinted windows. And he said, they said that Osho has told you to read these on this paper and look at the photograph, meditate and design. So I saw that big book, and again, I talked to myself in my mind, and it says, oh my God, I think I lost this job. I closed the book and I kept it next to my desk, and I said, okay, and I'd forgotten about it. One day we were doing we were doing a competition, and it was 3 o'clock in the night, and we just had finished work, and I was very tired. and I had just gone, I was just relaxing on my chair, and I suddenly heard one of my boys cutting on the blackboard, and we were sticking a drawing which we were supposed to submit for LIC. We were entering a competition for LIC. And that as soon as I saw I got up from my sleep and he was cutting, and a crack, crack, crack on that blackboard, that black on black lines, suddenly what I had read ignited in my mind, and I said, oh my God, he wants black on black. So then I said, why black on black? And I made up in my mind that, oh, when you mix each and every color, it becomes black. So black embodies all color. So then I said, yes, yes, yes. Then I said, why does he want blue tinted windows? And I told myself, oh, maybe as the first God realization anybody gets, he will see a blue light. So I said, oh, it's the window from which you will see. So it's the blue tinted window. But then I had seen that photograph, and I said, why does he, it was a barn house, an American barn house. The photograph was taken at sunset and it was looking like a pyramid. So I said, why that? Then I made up my mind, and I said, oh, pyramids is the most stable form. And it's the pyramid in which anybody sits or you put anything, it stays for a longer time. At 3 o'clock in the night, I took a paper, I took black paper, cut it, I stuck it on another blackboard. I put those blue tinted windows, and at that time there was no flights or anything. So I send a man from 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock. The design was ready. 7 o'clock, I send the guy in a cab. At 3 o'clock, I get the phone call. Osho loves you. Osho wants to meet you. And that's how the whole love affair started. But I never met Osho. Whenever he called me, I had to do something else. And when I wanted to go and meet him, by that time he was not well. But unfortunately or fortunately, we could not meet. But I'm very happy. He used to send me words, oh, do like this, do like this. When I was doing landscaping, Jayesh would come and say, Osho has given you instructions like this and like this. So I said, what does that mean? So then I would interpret. He would say, oh, you interpret. So I said, oh, he wants bamboos and he wants mounds. He said, oh, sure. And that's how we used to do work. Okay. So this is what, these are my original sketches. And this is how it has turned out. All the buildings are completely black. We use black basalt, we use black granite, black tiles. And I have seen people coming and standing next to it and tears coming out of their eyes, and everybody loves it. And with this, then we did the Osho garden, which was a defunct nala, and we converted into a green space. But Osho is different. I always say that I work for people. And for me, architecture for the need and for the people and their likes and dislikes. And that is what is most important to me. I am not an architect who will say that, it's like, if somebody is coming to your house to have dinner, it is your duty, and I'm sure everybody would inquire, oh, is he vegetarian, non-vegetarian? Then what are his likes, dislikes? And then you will definitely cook that food. But you won't say, oh, I like this, so I'm cooking it. You like it or don't like it, you go hungry. That is not a good host. So my approach to life, and life for architecture for me is life. And that is, I do and make my buildings where the client is happy and the future user are happy. So for people with different taste, for people with different beliefs, and people with different lifestyle, architecture has to differ as the person is different. Say I'm doing a house for a person in Jaisalmer, I will design it differently. I'm doing a house for somebody in Mumbai, I will do it differently. And I'm doing it for somebody in Dhulia, I would do it differently. And the same thing, because their beliefs are different, their tastes are different. You have to understand the person's taste, person's belief, and his lifestyle. And that is a true architecture when you cater for all of that. This is, I always give this example in my initial years when I had got a job of ITC Grand Maratha, and I was doing the job for Hyatt Regency, 2 hotels just across the street in Sahar. And one fellow ITC director wanted it a traditional architecture of Mumbai. And I asked him, sir, what do you mean by traditional architecture of Mumbai? So he says, oh, you've seen those high court buildings? I like that kind of an architecture, and that really is representing Mumbai. And so that is the Gothic architecture. And Hyatt, an international company, wanted it absolutely modern, glass, granite, steel. So these are 2 buildings done at the same time. One for ITC and another for Hyatt. This is what ITC building looks like. Completely traditional. If somebody has not told you that this was done in 1989, you will say that, oh, this was done in, say, 1920s or 1910. And at the same time, Hyatt, completely different. This is what every architect should learn, that as per the appropriateness of the image of the client, you must change your style and you must do it very, very appropriately. This is the canopy of the Grand Maratha. This is the courtyard of Maratha. Completely. When you go in one style, do it in that style completely and make him, take him into that era. And this is the courtyard of Hyatt. These are the details of Maratha. This is the details of Hyatt. That's one thing. Another dictate, purpose. Whatever you do, we talked about client, now about purpose. Whenever you are doing anything, designing any building, it should have a purpose. And the purpose should lead to something very, very tangible. So when I had started my practice in 82, there was no Maiwan, there was no precast, or there was, but it was, done in a very small manner. Everybody used to have RCC frame structure and panel walls, and everybody used to do 9 inches brick wall. But every wall would leak, and every client would come and complain that, oh, my walls are leaking. And whatever we would do, because the way people used to do work, everybody will want the buildings to be done very, very fast. So workers would not take that much of a care while plastering and filling up the gaps. So it would leak. So that was on my mind. And I said that I must do something by which I can stop this leakage. But I have also realized one thing, that whenever you tell somebody to do something, Yes, it is going to lead to a better and safer architecture and safer ways. But at the same time, if you want people to change also, you should show them something more tangible. And what is more tangible is money. So what I did, left hand side, what you see is a 9-inch brick wall, which was being done all the time. From 9 inches, I made it into 4.5 inches. So I saved 4.5 inches, and that will go into my my carpet area. And I made another 4.5 inches wall after 2 feet 6 inches, which was allowed as per the bylaws. So I cladded the whole building with like a raincoat. So that 4.5 inches would stop the water, and my another 4.5 inches wall, which is inside, will always be dry. So I was giving to my customer a proper house which will never leak, and I gave my builder another 4.5 inches, which is an extra carpet area at the same built-up area. So that became so famous, and it was called the 2 feet 6 inches architecture. And in that, I stopped doing chhajjas. I could do box windows, so people will be protected. So in summer, his house is cooler. In there's hardly any winter, but in winter it will be warmer. And in rainy season, it will not be damp. So this was the first thing that I did, something for a purpose, and the double wall concept came into the Mumbai architecture, and everybody started talking about the 2 feet 6 inches architecture, and each and every builder started adopting it. Okay. With this, the first client, one of my first major clients was, Hiranandani's, and for them I built this beach classic, and that was with the double wall concept. Okay. After Beach Classic, the Hiranandanis gave me a job at Powai. Nobody had heard of Powai at that time. The only time we used to hear of Powai was that Mr. Singhanias used to always have a party on New Year's Eve in his bungalow at Powai. So we had heard of that. I went to Powai for the first time, and what you see on top is the barren land. It was all a quarry land, and some few palm trees were there, and they also used to break because they had gone so old. So the first thing we started was that we should do complete forestation, and they gave me a job, one small plot, pretty small but quite long, and they said that we would like you to design a building over here. Now nobody had heard of Powai, so the first thing that came to my mind was, how do I put Powai on the map of real estate in Mumbai? So when everybody over there was doing a ground and 2 upper and ground and 4 upper, and nobody was going more than stills plus 7, I did a 22-story high building. I did a building 900 feet long. And though each and every flat over there was 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom, I made 90 different alternates for that. I gave someone, a deck, someone, a double height, somebody, I made his flat slightly bigger, somebody smaller. And there was the hill behind, and I did not want that anything which I do will cover the hill. So I made 2 large cutouts, which were about something like 5-story by 5-story. And we presented this to the Hiranandanis. Hiranandanis loved it, and it became a wave. Every broker started talking about, "Arey, wo building dekha hai, 900 feet lamba, 200 feet ऊंचा, and uske andar se plane jata hai," and all that, created the huge aura, and the building was sold in 3 months. And Hiranandanis came on the scene of real estate in Mumbai. And that was the first building which brought me a lot of, Okay, afterwards, we constructed this. This is how it used to look at that time. Okay, and this then, Hiranandanis gave me a second job, and he says that, oh, now we are giving you the first job. It's nice, but now we don't want to make such expensive buildings. You give us a completely a different kind of an architecture. You show us what, we don't want to construct modern buildings. So then I started, giving them different kinds of looks and feels and all that. And we did postmodern, modern, Gothic style, postmodern style, Art Deco style, and everything, they rejected. And he said, oh, not like this, not like this, not like this. One day, Surendra was in my office, and we were talking, and then I came up with an idea, and I said, Surendra, how about giving palaces for an ordinary person? Palatial building for an ordinary person. So he says, what is that? Now, mind you, at that time, nobody was doing any classical building in Mumbai. All the classical buildings were done by the Britisher, and the Britisher had already left about 50, 60 years before at that time. And I said that, why don't we make all our buildings classical? So he says, oh, how can we make such high-rise buildings classical? I said, let's do it. And I told him that, a classical building will last longer. It'll catch, you don't have to paint it every year. Even if there is a little bit of a dirt, it will look very nice and it will look majestic. And that's how the whole advent of classical architecture started in my career. And I would say that this was the first building, these were the first buildings in India after independence or after the British had left, that we started doing classical architecture. And mind you, okay, this is what is the main, and then we started naming all the streets. We said that Central Avenue, North Avenue. Then we created a column like how the Romans used to create the column of victory. Over here, we created a column of good living. And the panels, on which we had carved panels, we had the carved, and we put them up over there. And this was the first shopping center that we did. After doing a few buildings, the Hiranandanis requested me, oh, why don't we change the style of our future buildings? And I said, no, do not change the style. Keep to the same style, because it is giving a sense of place. What is a sense of place? When you come to Hiranandani Garden, this is what Hiranandani Gardens look like today. You are in that awe of that area. The whole area is completely, you are surrounded by that ambience. It is like I have always given an example that when, for something, a great looking building, if I had done a 100-story building and a great form and a great this, it'll stand by itself. It's like a very, very, very beautiful girl, okay, or a beautiful lady or a beautiful, but when you go for a marriage and you see 20, 30, 40 different ladies all dressed up in saris and everything, and it has that ambience of that, that mahal, and though the buildings are not that great, but that ambience makes you feel so happy and nice. And that is what we have created, and that is what I'm calling the sense of place. So the first time we could do this, a sense of place in a residential complex. And this is what all this, we toured with, each and every boundary wall, the sculpture. We created a forest. We started planting each and every indigenous trees. We got species which were defunct and nobody had those species. we got them cultivated. We got species of trees from Western Ghats and planted them. And then each and every rooftop was a different kind of a rooftop. And we were the first to make a large sewage treatment plant. After doing the sewage treatment, we treated the water and we made a big lake on top of the sewage treatment plant where everybody would come in the evening and do their boating. And that water, we would use it for gardening. Okay. And these are some other pictures of Hiranandani garden and meadows. And this is what the Powai campus looks like. There's some other shots, lobbies, details of Powai clubhouse with the swimming pool. Okay. Now, as I said that, yes, one of the guys to make such demand was Rajneesh. The other guy, and I had so many people making demands. And one of the demands that one guy had made, which I can't forget, is when I was doing this guy called Kirtikedia, a Marwadi boy, and Marwadis are very good at calculations and things like that. He came and he was a son of one of my old clients. And he said that he used to always call me Raja Raja. So he said, Raja, I want you to design an 80 square meter flats for me. And this was, what the restrictions was, it was the land ceiling. And he says, oh, I would like you to design my bedrooms should be this by this. Living room should be so much by so much. Bedroom should be so much by so much. And my area has to be 80 square meter. I being very, anxious and all that, I said, okay, I will do it. I'll do it. But then before he was leaving, I was just calculating. And I said that, Arey, Kirti, what areas you have given me, just the room sizes are going more than 80. And how can I do the whole? What about the passage? What about this, that? And how can I give it to you in 80 square meters? So he started saying, Arey Raja, dimag lagao ho jayega, But I said, I can't beat arithmetic. It's so much by so much is so many square feet. And so much by so much is so many square feet. How can I beat arithmetic? And he kept on saying, oh, dimag lagao. And he says, Acha, I'm coming tomorrow evening. It's today and he's coming tomorrow evening and he's telling me dimag lagao. I never gave up. He wanted his rooms 10 by 14 and he wanted his living room 20 by 20. Now, the area of 20 by 20, so you see the sketch on the side. The living room is 20 by 20 and I cut it off on the side, which I'm showing black is a cutoff. So 20 by 20, 400, out of which so much goes off. So I given him 20 by 20, but the area comes down. The same thing with my bedroom, 10 by 14, 140. But I cut off the edges, made the rooms roundish. I cut it off and I saved some 5555 square feet. That's how the whole form of the building came, rounded edges with this kind of a living room. And he could market this thing, that's 14 by 10 bedrooms, 20 by 20 living rooms, and 80 square meter. It became a hit. The whole building got sold in just a jiffy. And everybody in Mumbai started copying this elevation. But I had done it for a purpose. Everybody else liked the look and feel and they copied it. So this, I'm saying, most absurd demand, apply your mind, you'll get an answer. So this is what exactly, how, you can see in the red, how the area goes off and you get the same size of room. And this is what the building looked like. And also I used to look like that at that time. Another, I used to do a lot of work at that time in Pune because Pune things used to get passed faster. And Karyas was one of my biggest client, and they used to buy small plots. And a lot of other people also kept on saying, because we used to do living room, bedroom, kitchen, living room, bedroom, kitchen. But everybody wanted it different. Everybody wanted something completely different. And their thing only, kuch naya cheez do, but at a lesser cost. And these were all the different kinds of buildings that we were doing and churning them out. And people used to love it. But everything, like say the Indraprastha in Mumbai, the builder wanted something ethnic, but modern. And this is what we did. And each and every project was a real success. This is what I did for Karyas, and why I did this pitch roof, because just opposite to that is the municipal building over there. And it had those huge pitch roofs like a lot of Pune buildings have it. And when I was building opposite to that, I said that I must respect that building. So I also made a pitch roof. But then my client would not like to have the pitch roof because it is more expensive. So then I convinced my client saying that, if you have this pitch roof in your bedroom, you can make a mezzanine, and your younger son will have a mezzanine and he will love it. And that will be an extra area. And that's how they sold the upper floors as a penthouse. So they got more profit. I got better architecture, and the city got a building which was respecting an old heritage building. Giving is one thing which I believe very, very profusely. And what I'm saying, giving is, if somebody comes to you, he's not your client, he's just accompanying some older client of yours. And if he asks your advice that, I am doing this, what should I do? I have always given him free advice, because I think, it's not free advice. You cannot judge everything and everything with money. If you are helping that guy and giving him some real good advice by which he will be able to make a better project and a better building, it's good for him. It's good for him. So good. So I have always believed in that. And I always, from one way, it is nice to give something nice and believe in it. But I have always realized that when I have given a good idea to somebody, that goodness always reflects back on you. He will come after 3 months, 6 months, 1 year and say, you had given me this good advice. I liked it. I followed it. I want to do something nice. And when I gave him that advice, I never realized that, it is going to come back to me with a goodness. But I have seen that it has always come back and I have earned from it. Okay? A very good example was DLF. I never knew of DLF. I went to Delhi for the first time. That was in about, I think, some 89 or 88. I was doing interior for a company called Nestle. And Nestle had bought some floors in this DLF building. So I finished the meeting with them, and then I was sitting, I had nothing better to do. At that time, there was only one Indian Airlines. So I had my ticket in the evening. So I was just sitting under the tree and, I was relaxing. And the client came, Mr. Rajiv Singh, and they had already dug up the foundation. And so he says, hello. I said, hello. So he says, what are you doing? So I said, I'm Hafeez. I just come for, interior of Nestle. And I finished my meeting. So he said, then he said, why don't you come and sit inside my office? It's an air-conditioned office. So I went inside. And then he's showing me his building and says, this is how I'm going to design my building. So I said, very good. Then he asked me that, what do I think about it? And he was cladding his building in red agra, and he had punched holes and things like that. And then he showed me the perspective of his entrance lobby. And he says, what do you think of it? So I said, I would not do this like this, because, he had mirrors too on the parallel side. And I said, it'll look like a barber shop. And this was, again, I never knew that he will call me for something. So he says, oh, what are you doing? I said, I'm waiting. My flight is in the evening. He says, can you meet my father? So he called me and asked me to meet his father in the afternoon. I met his father, gave him my ideas. His father liked the ideas. So I did the design and gave it to him after a week. And I told him, okay, you ask your architect to follow that. Luckily or unluckily, I would say luckily, his architect never followed it. And he says, oh, I won't do it. And Mr. KP Singh asked me, oh, will you follow your ideas and complete this building? Which I did. Today also, after so many years, 30 years, the building looks just the same. And this is what was a starting point for me for DLF. Giving, 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 and always a good deed comes back to you. Same with Mr. Narayan Murthy. I gave him an idea how his SDBs should be. He was just having lunch in a restaurant, and I saw him from far off. And I said, oh, that's Narayan Murthy. And I went and met him, and I said, sir, you should do your SDBs like this. And he said, oh, show it to me. I showed it to him. He liked it. And with that, we did so many more campuses for him. I had done something like 7, 8 campuses for him. And these are some of the shots of one of the campuses that we have done for him. And mind you, Mr. Narayan Murthy has been a very, very nice client. And so are all my clients who have been very, very nice to me. Okay. And that's the dining hall. This is in their Bangalore campus. Over here also, it had a great thought about, because this building was covered by all other buildings and it had no approach. So when they asked me to design a large SDB, which was more than 1.5 million square feet, one building, I said that, when somebody comes over here, what is it that, this SDB is going to do? So he says, oh, it's a banking SDB. So I said that, if somebody is coming, you can see the person in the center of that circle. That's the scale. And when the person is going to walk to that building, then the whole thing would open up into a screen and say, welcome this person, this, that. And that's how he'll be welcome. And then what software we are going to show it to them, this will come on this huge 80 feet diameter screen. And that is how we designed the whole building. But unfortunately, when we took the estimate, it had to change because it was getting too expensive. Projon, another building for Mr. Narayan Murthy, another campus. And this is how we used to design for Mr. Narayan Murthy. He would ask me to design a building, give me about 8-9 days. So by the time I'm returning back in the plane, and I always find that, in the plane is the most comfortable place because nobody is there to disturb you. So this is how I design in the plane. And next morning I come to my office, and this is the Share Bazaar, paper, because on that you draw with small prints. The drawing comes out quite well, and I give it to my associate. And in 1 week we show it to Mr. Narayan Murthy, and that's how the whole building. And you can see his signature on the upper. And in 1 week he will ask us to start the building. If he's approved it today, next Tuesday, the building should start. And that's how we did all the buildings. And this is some of the buildings that we did for him. But when he asked us to design a global educational center, okay, I thinking that, Mr. Narayan Murthy always likes a very, very contemporary building. So we had done a contemporary design for him. And after looking at it, he said, very good, very good, very good. But then he asked me, Hafeez, have you ever gone to Rome? I said, yes, sir, I have gone to Rome. Then he says, oh, I would like my building to be like, old fashioned, like, how you see Harvard and Yale and all that. So I said, yes, sir, that's called classical. He says, yeah, Roman. And he asked us to design a building in a classical style, and which we did. And the one on top is a building which is, we have designed, just about 2 furlongs away, which is a contemporary. But when he wanted this in classical style, we did it. And today also, whenever anybody comes to meet him, he drives with him and shows this building, not any other campus, but this building. And I can tell you that I have more faith in classical style as far as look, feel, and everything. And Dr. Majumdar also knows about it. We have just done a campus for Dr. Majumdar also in Nagpur, and I'm waiting for it to get completed so that from next time I will be showing those photographs also, how a classical, this is only one building, but over there, the whole campus, the axis, how the axes are done, how each and every building is complementing each other. And what a fantastic, power this style has got. So Dr. Mazumdar, from next time, when your buildings get over, they will also be part of my future presentation and how we achieved it. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me that opportunity of designing your campus in Nagpur. Thank you, sir. And this is how it looks in the night with a musical fountain. I have seen in Infosys, with this, we did a hostel for 10,000 students also over here. On each and every week, they have one day where all the parents can come and visit their students, and they all sit over here in the evening and admire the building. This is how, the scale of the building is, the size, the column, and some of the interior photographs. How each and every detail inside also is classical, which really carries the building much better, because it's not only the outside but inside. So the person is completely engulfed in this style. And it was inaugurated by Mrs. Sonia Gandhi ji, and how everybody was told that, oh, she is going to be here only for half an hour. When she came, saw the building, she was there for more than 3.5 to 4 hours. We were told that nobody should offer any cup of tea or anything. But to our great surprise, she sat with us, had lunch, and when she was leaving at 3 o'clock in the evening, she said that, oh, I'm really feeling very sorry that I have to leave this space because I really love this place. And this is what she had said. And right now we are designing the Congress headquarters in Delhi. My love for, I have always thought that in Mumbai and in India, we are very short of housing. And I always said that more than half the population of India and more than half the population of Mumbai do not have appropriate houses, and they live in slums. And because of that, the productivity of our Indian population is not at the peak. So we, about 10-15 years back, when I had an idea, and I went to Mr. Balasaheb at that time, and I presented this idea to Mr. Balasaheb. And I told Mr. Balasaheb that I have an idea by which I can eradicate the slums of Mumbai. And we presented the whole idea to Mr. Balasaheb. The only person who was in favor was Mr. Suresh Dada Jain, who was the housing minister and who had really backed me. Mr. Manor Joshi said, Balasaheb Nako Kara. Pramod Mahajan said, Balasaheb Nako Kara. Kirit Somaya said, Balasaheb Nako Kara. Everybody said, Nako Kara, Nako Kara, Nako Kara. But only Suresh Dada Jain and Balasaheb Nai Mala Karaichai Aaye. And he approved this scheme. And today, lakhs and lakhs of people are having free housing. But the most important thing that happened and which really changed my, complete perception and what, this is how it looks finally. And this is what, the New York Times had given an article about. But when we were doing the Bhumi Puja of this building, I'm sorry, I forgot to put that photographs in the presentation. Two Maharashtrian ladies from the slum redevelopment had come with their complete, the 9-yard sari, the nose ring, the jewelry, everything. And they took me and my client and took them to the Ganpati Ji's Mandir. And they made us stand there. So I'm looking at them, with a smile. So one of the Maharashtrian men came and is telling me, आपको मालूम है ये लोग क्या करते हैं? So I said, नहीं, क्या? देखिए ये औरत लोग आपकी आरती लेंगे. तो मैं बोल, I said कि हाँ लेने दो. He said, नहीं लेने दो नहीं. It is not so. He says, we Maharashtrian ladies do not take aarti of anybody. They just take aarti of God and their husband only. So then I said, then why are they taking aarti of me? So one of the Maharashtrian ladies listened and she says, do you know what you have done to us? Up to today, we cannot go to toilet after sunrise. And we cannot go to toilet before sunset. You will be giving us pakka houses with water and toilet. You have changed our life. And I could not imagine when she said that we cannot go to toilet after sunrise. Can you imagine when you want to go to just to pee? And you cannot hold it for more than 15-20 minutes. These ladies, because of the situation, they were holding on for the whole day. And I could not think of it. And today also, we are working on slum clearances. I have given schemes to the government, to the central government, to the state government, how to eradicate Dharavi, how to eradicate each and every slum, and we will definitely succeed. And this is what we made those buildings afterwards, and this is. But I have always been in love with high-rise, but my conviction for high-rise in India is that we are short of land. And we, in India, our urban areas are taking more land. We are more than 11% of our urban areas are in urban land. Whereas we are depleting on our forest land, we are depleting on our farmland. We have to condense our cities. So that is why we want to go higher in India. But in Dubai, it's a different thing. It is the show. It is glorification. And some of the buildings that we have done in Dubai, this was more than 400 meters tall. This was the tallest residential building in the world for more than a year. Then it was defeated, but we are very proud that we made this building in Dubai, and it's a very nice building, and I like it. It is more than 25 FSI, and I sometimes wonder why other countries can give that FSI with not even 100th of our population, and why our politicians are restricting our FSI, which is a very sad thing. and we are fighting for it, that our FSIs for all our cities should increase so that we can house each and every Indian with a pakka and a proper house. Some of the photographs of the building in the night. Okay, the fourth dictate. Reinvent yourself, reinvent yourself, reinvent yourself. You can never lie on your past laurels. You can't say, oh, I had done this and I had done this, I had done this. What are you doing today and what are you going to do tomorrow? And one of the examples is that one day, one lady came to my office. She was a bureaucrat, and she came and she said, oh, Mr. Contractor, you're such a big architect, and you will not work for me. I said, Baba, please tell me, what is it, madam? And she said that, oh, I'm from the educational department, and we want to make 500 schools in whole of state of Maharashtra. So I said, very good. I said, what is your budget? So she said, our budget for one school is 1,10,000. So the first thing I heard, 1,10,000, and it's a primary school, 4 classrooms, principal's room, this, that, toilet, this, that. I said, 1,10,000. So I said, what are you going to do? So she says, oh, I know 1,10,000 is a very small budget. So we are just going to make a room, and the students will be taught in the open air. And in the evening, they will put their slates and pens and all of that in the room. The teacher will lock that room and everybody will go home. So she sat with me and I said, but if I can give you a school in 1,10,000 with 3 classrooms, a place for a teacher to sit, cupboards, everything, and 2 toilets and a compound where all small kids in a village, they can keep on running and no harm will ever take place. She was very surprised and she said, how can I do that? So then I gave her an idea and I said that, all these schools will be done in villages. In villages, you have lots and lots of stone, you have lots and lots of rabbit. So we made the wall, you see the section on top, we made a nice 6 feet thick wall. We made it 5 feet high. And in each and every village, in the beginning of the village or end of the village, you get old doors and old windows. So we'll put the door, we'll make a round surrounding, and we will have thatch roofs on top where the students will come and sit. And when there is a lot of rain, as it is when there is a lot of rain, nobody comes to school. Here, the mother can leave the kid and the kid can run around in the campus. There is a boys' toilet, there is a girls' toilet, and in that thick wall, we made some of the cupboards where everything will be kept. We did this, took out the costing. It was coming in 1,10,000. Unfortunately, that lady got transferred and we never got to build it. But everything you have to keep on reinventing. And every day is a new day. And you have to reinvent every day. Otherwise, you're a dead man. So the same thing, when the last downfall came for real estate, and we were building at that time for about 900 rupees and selling in Delhi for about 1,300, 1,500 rupees. The market came down and the sale price was about something like 800, and we were building for much more than that. And Mr. Raju Singh came and said, Hafeez, we have to think about something, how we can reduce the cost. Otherwise, we are out of business. We studied each and everything. We devised a new way. We made everything on a grid. We made everything, cut costs. We got the costing done to 600. Finally, we came to about 610 or 615 rupees. We started, selling at 800 rupees, and we were again in business. So if anybody tells you that it is impossible, it is not impossible. If you apply your mind, you will come to it. Okay, there is a limit to it, but apply your mind, and you will get the answer. Same way, NIFT, when they called me, they had no premises, they had nothing to build upon. There was already an existing campus, and they wanted a large garden, also a play area. They gave me a small strip of 30 feet wide, and we built the whole campus in that 30 feet wide. And today, this building is getting featured in World Architectural Book. The same way, the hotel in Pune, it was on only about some 18 or 19 feet wide. Then they got 10 feet, then they got 10 feet. So it is not that, you cannot build with a lot of constraint. This one we built, we never got built but we had given the design. We had already built Imperial Tower, and when Imperial was going on, the people behind, because we are cutting off their view, they went to court, and Imperial had to fight a legal battle for so many years. So when we were designing this building, we told the client that let's start the building after 22 floors, because the back building was 22 floors. So their view, their sunlight in the morning is not curtailed. They will always enjoy the view, and your building will start after 22 floors. But unfortunately, because of the slump in real estate, this building is not getting completed. Speed. Speed is one of the most important criteria today. And I'm telling you, as the world is progressing, today everything is about speed. Money, constructability, and economy. All of this goes hand in hand. I'll tell you a story about when I was asked by Mr. Kamath to design a building for him at Hyderabad. And two people called me up in the evening and said that Mr. Kamath would like you to design a building for us, and we would like to come and meet you. So they came and met me at 9 o'clock in the night and said that we are in a hurry. We are having a competition. We have invited some foreigners also. We have invited some other architects also. We would like you to submit this proposal by middle of next week. So I said, okay, fine. So we were working on it as per the brief. And on Sunday or Saturday, I don't remember, they again called up and says, Mr. Kamath is leaving, he's going abroad. So he wants the presentation on Monday morning. Now, mind you, they'd come on Friday evening or something like that, Saturday, Sunday, and now they want on Monday morning. I said, okay. We went there on Monday morning, and we went there with 3 alternates. We showed it to Mr. Kamath. He liked it, he selected it. And this is what we have built. Madam, can you just give me 2 minutes? I go around the corner and come, please, if you don't mind. I just want
to... Sir. Yeah, yes, sir.
Please, 1 second. So sorry, excuse me. Okay, so we designed the building, and Mr. Kamath liked it, though the design was completely different. It was the first one, and after he liked it, after 2 days, again a phone call comes that Mr. Kamath would like to meet you again. And when we met, Mrs. Morporia said, "Oh, I don't like this design." And Mr. Kamath and I sat on the table, and we made this new design on the table on an envelope. What I'm trying to say that you cannot just say that, "Oh, I will take so many days and I'll come after another 1 week and 10 days." Time flies very fast. And finally, this was one of the largest building that we had done at that time. It was 4 million square feet. It had about some 33,000 car parks. Each and every floor plate is 2,20,000. It has got 60 elevators, some 80 escalators. It had the highest curtain wall, structural glazing. And it's a fantastic building, and this is how it compares in the amount of steel. It has so many car park, two-wheelers. There are 22,000 people in it. It has a 300-room hotel. It has a 2,000-room auditorium, and the works. Okay, and after completing this building, we were supposed to replicate this building all over India. And when we were having the inauguration of the building in Ahmedabad, this is what, and we were told that it is the same building to be repeated. Mr. Modi at the time was the chief minister. Mr. Modi is sitting on the dais. Mr. Kamath is sitting on the dais, and I'm in the first row. And I see Mr. Modi talking to Mr. Kamath, and Mr. Kamath is doing with his fingers and called me on top of the stage. I went there, and he's telling me that Mr. Modi wants this building 100 feet taller. And so he's looking at me and he says, "Can you do it?" I said, "Yes, sir, I can do it." But he says, "Oh, no extra cost." So I said, "Okay, sir, no extra cost, but little bit more." So I took the inauguration pamphlet and I drew it on top only when they were both sitting. And this is the sketch I drew. I made this pinnacle and I said, "Sir, 100 feet more than the existing building." And he looked at it. He showed it to Mr. Modi. Mr. Modi approved it, and the building was approved. So this is what I'm saying: speed, speed, speed. Speed is the word, and that is what will get you. But unfortunately, this also, because of a slump in the market, it never got started. It got started, but it had to be shelved. And this is another one which we are doing. We just completed. It is 11 million square feet. It's the largest building that we have done. It has got 6,000 car park. It has got large halls. It has got an auditorium. It has got offices. It has got convention center, shopping mall. It's the works. Everything is there. Now, another thing which has always come to, and I have learned it very, very, I would say, at a lot of expense, and that is we have, whenever you go to meet a client, unless and until you know his mind completely, you have to go with options, options, and options. And why we do that? Because you may think that the client will like this, but in the client's mind, it's completely different. And unless and until you give him options, options, and options, okay, he will not be able to make up his mind. And this is what we have realized it pretty much late in our life. Initially, whenever somebody used to call me for a competition, I used to go with one idea, and I was always sure that, oh, he will love that idea. But if I did a square building, he would say, oh, I always wanted a round building. And if I did a round building, he says, no, 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 I want a very practical and a square building, and things like that. So when we were doing a competition, and we always believe that when you come to architect Hafeez Contractor, it is like, when you go to buy a sari or a dress material, how you want, no, mere ko dikhao this, mere ko dikhao this, mere ko dikhao this. And this is how I throw ideas one after another, one and after. You don't like this? Okay, take this. You may like this. You may like this. You may like this. And finally, everyone will come to a thing that he'll say, yes, I like this. And that's why we call is architect Hafeez Contractor sari and dress wala materials. And though a lot of people will laugh at it, but this is really the theory behind our approach, that there is a color and there is a material for each and every like, and that is what you should cater to. So when Bharti, Airtel people call me to design their headquarters, and I knew that there are three brothers, so each and every brother will have a different opinion. And when we went to show them the building, I had taken 30 alternates. Because I knew that he was a very, very difficult man. So, and I said that, a square building like this building like that, this, and this as per your logo of Bharati, and this, a building with an atrium, this building like this. And when we showed them, at first, one of the brothers said, oh, I like this one. Another brother said, I like that one. Third brother said, I like that one. The CFO said, I like this one. So out of 30, they selected 10. And in the next meeting, none of the other brothers were there. Only the eldest brother was there. And one of the CEO was there. And from 10, they came to 3. And finally, they came to 1. And what I'm trying to say, that it is not that, I was not able to give them what they wanted. But when they called us for a presentation, nobody said that what is exactly in their mind. What is their like? What is their dislike? So it is as good as, you or I going to buy a mobile phone or anything. And when the salesman gives you 20 different kinds, and you're not even thought of that you will like this. But when somebody gives you an idea, and you say, oh, I like this. So the same way, I consider mine also as a product. And I give them different ideas so that they can select and be most happy with the kind of design that I'm giving. So this is options, and options. And this is finally, the building was created. We had the one which we, the second from top, we had all the artwork and everything. And once the building was virtually come to the first floor, he got another plot in Delhi, and he called me up and he says, oh, I'm not going to give you any more budget. All that artwork is gone. Now you give me a completely different. So we overnight changed, and the artwork wall was gone, and we did the glazing in such a way that it matched their Airtel logo. And today also, when I showed him this, he kept on saying, "Arey maar diya." I said, "Why, sir?" He says, "There are only two opinions in my company when anybody sees this building. One is they say, 'Oh, wow, it is a superb building,' and the other people say, 'Oh, it's a horrible building.'" So I said, "Sir, in both ways, you are one. Somebody hates you and somebody loves you. For me, this is a building on the highway that everybody should look at, and everybody looks at, and they are interested, so that I have won." So this is what the whole building is looking at, and in the night it looks like this. And it came on the Domus cover also. embrace changes. Like I just told you about Bharti Airtel, after designing the full building in a particular manner, approving it, everything, budgets approved, and because of circumstances, he asked us to change, and we changed it. And the similar cases, we had designed a 10,000 room hostel for Infosys, and it was in a 60 acre. I wanted the whole 60 acre. It was a low lying area. I wanted lakes. I wanted all the wetlands to be there. And all the buildings were flying in the air so that a student can walk from one building to another building and be connected. And suddenly, Mr. Pai said that, oh, we want to cut down the cost. We want to do one building at a time. And we do not want anything, expensive. And we had to change overnight. And we are done. The what you see down below is the final product. What I'm trying to say, change is very, very common, and you have to embrace change. This was one of my first buildings. It was a triangular plot, and I had done a triangular building. And my client had called me for the inauguration. I set for the inauguration, the Bhumi Puja was done. And then my client is telling me that the guy who was doing the puja, show him the model. So I went and showed him the model. And he saw the model and he's saying, na. So I says, Maharaj Sahib, shu thayu? So he says, nah, trasu building nahi joya. There is no triangular building. Now the foundations are already laid. And no triangular building. So then I took the paper and drew every triangle. I made it into a circle. And from a triangular building, I made it into a circular building. On top, it was like this. And I made it a curvilinear and gave it the dome. And I showed it to the Maharaj. And the Maharaj Sahib said, both saru. And we have built this building. And I'm telling you, I got the maximum publicity because of this building. So change for the better. All happens, and this is what, at that time. And this is one of my, another building which we are doing for Nestle. And again, never give up is what I would say. Nestle Vave, that is the parent company in Switzerland, wanted a high-rise building, and Nestle India wanted a low-rise building. And we kept on giving them alternates after alternates. If Nestle Vave approves it, Nestle India would reject it. And with Nestle India approving, Nestle Vave would reject it. And we kept on, worked for more than 6 months on it. And one fine day, Mr. Rajiv Singh told me that you better go to Switzerland and get your design approved. Otherwise, we don't have this job. So I went to Switzerland, and I tried, and we presented our scheme in the morning. And both of them, one approves, the other doesn't approve. So finally, we were having lunch, and at the lunch table, both these guys were talking in French and talking. And you can see on the right-hand side, the brasserie, the Soviet is there. And I suddenly told them, how about a low-rise building high up in the air? And both of them looked at it and says, what do you mean by that? Nestle Vave wanted a high-rise building because they wanted the publicity of logo and everything on the highway. And Nestle India wanted a low-rise building because they did not want that 22-story, people will go up and down. They wanted about 8 or 9 story. So what I did, I raised the whole building 8 or 9 stories and took them right up to 22 floors and made large pilotis down below where there will be just like an entrance hall. And on top, 4 floors, I made it their training center, which Nestle India didn't mind. So it was a low-rise building high up in the air. We did that. Both of them approved it. And we started building. Mr. Rajiv Singh was happy. Everybody was happy. We started building. And mind you, after 4 months or 5 months of work, the director got changed and the new director wanted half the area. Again, after columns being put up, everything, we again changed it and made a new design on the old columns and gave it to them. And today, the Nestle building is in the low-rise portion, and the remaining tower is for the sale. What I'm saying, change and change for the better. And today, Nestle is really proud of their building. When they wanted their new headquarters to be built in Kuala Lumpur or somewhere, they asked their architect to come and see this building and then design their new building. So and this is the whole of DLF Cyber City that we have done. Each and every building is a different form, different shape, different height, and every one is for a purpose. Why different height? You'll see this, it's step form is for a purpose. Everything is a purpose. And we can talk about all these buildings some other time. We can take the whole day talking all about these buildings. And this is how it looks from far, from near. And these are some other buildings. Each and every one is 1 million square feet, 2 million square feet. And some of the small ones for Ericsson and all of them, which are small, which are like the prize jewels. So we make the prize jewels very, very funky and very, very artistic. And we recoup the cost and everything in those big buffaloes. Okay. This is the new one we just completed. And then the whole metro connects all of these buildings on the periphery. So each and every one can catch a metro and go home, or come from their home and get to the building absolutely. And we have made the hub where there are more than 80 restaurants, because in this cyber city, more than 75,000 people work there. They come and eat there. The hub is on virtually throughout the night. There are shows there, there are launches there, and this is really the center of Gurgaon today. There's another thing which I realized. It's now or never. If a client calls you and says that come today, never say that you can't come today, you'll come tomorrow. If you do that, and I have done that mistakes a lot of time, and between today and tomorrow in the night, the client will meet somebody else and the job is given to somebody else. So I know it's always, there's a very good saying also and a song also, it's now or never. So if somebody calls you, take the opportunity and go immediately, okay? Never say no to a client. It's an inverted pyramid. Small becomes big. Scope, no scope. Budget, no budget. Today, as far as you look at it, the project doesn't have a scope, but create a scope. There is no budget. Because the scope was not there, there is no budget. If you create a scope, the budget will come. But apply your mind and reignite and reinvent. And that is what the whole thing is all about. Now we come to a different aspect of my career and my life. And that is what we have been always talking about, high rise. We have been always talking about more people having houses on a lesser land. And this is for phase 5, when we started doing for DIF. In Gurgaon, the law was that they would always make row houses, and only a part of the small land will be given for group housing, which I did not like. And though we made several plans, and one day I told Mr. KP Singh that, sir, this is not the right thing to do. Why don't we do high rises and create large gardens and large forest area, which will be environmentally also very, very desired and good. So he said, but that is not the law. So then I said, sir, then why don't we go to the minister and convince him? So Mr. KP Singh, Mr. Ansal and Unitech, all three of them, and I went and presented to Mr. Bhajan Lalji. He was the chief minister. Mr. Bhajan Lalji approved the whole scheme. And today, with that as the new law, today what we have created, people will not realize it today. What you see in the center with the ridge area is more than 1,500 acres of green area. What you see on the left is 843 acres of New York Central Park. Now, mind you, New York Central Park is done by the city. And what you see on the right-hand side is the Hyde Park, 625 acres. What we have created in the center, which is 1,500 acres of green space, and a private developer and a private architect has done it. And it's just not a park. It's a green space along with all the people staying on the periphery. So more people will enjoy it. The whole environment is, this is how the first phase is coming out. And this is how it looks. This large lakes, 20 acre lakes are there. Migratory birds come over here. Where when we started it, there was not even a black dog over here. Today, there are more than 1,000 peacocks, different kind of species of bird. And we have created so much of green space, which is environmentally also a very good thing. Okay. And we are housing more than 3 times the amount of people that the bungalows would have housed. Bungalows would have made more roads. It would have concretized the whole area. There would not have been so much of percolation of water, and there would not have been so much of greenery. So what we have done, we are very proud of, and we believe in this kind of a greenery with intense development, very firmly. And I feel that this is the right formula for India. You must utilize your land very judiciously and look at it as a very precious commodity, because you can produce electricity, you can produce cement, you can produce everything. Nobody can produce land. Okay, so look at land, and this is what the whole atmosphere looks like. Different shots of the whole complex. And this is another building, and I'm very happy and proud that in Delhi, when they have the ticket for the metro, you can see the ticket on top. On one side it is Qutub Minar, and on other side it is our building. So the Delhiites also feel very proud about our building. Okay. Ego is one thing which you must always lock it in your cupboard whenever you go out of your house. And I firmly believe in it. And ego is one thing which will destroy you. Never have an ego. Ego is one thing which will destroy you. Okay. Another thing, never make a person wait in your office. Now, these are things which I have learned it very carefully with years. Sometimes, you are so, engrossed in your work, and you call somebody and you make him wait. He will feel very bad, and you have lost that man as a client. Now, nobody will teach you. Nobody has got the guts to say that also, but never make a man wait in your office. Okay? And a lot of times, a small boy in your office will give you a good idea. Take it. If the idea is better than yours, take it. Make a collaboration. It's a good idea coming from anybody. Take it, collaborate it, and use it. This is, when we did small houses for Exerbia, which is my love and endeavor, that we should provide houses for each and every Indian. So we made some 270 square feet, 2-bedroom hall kitchen. And this is how it will look: 1 bedroom in the night, 2 bedroom in the, 1 bedroom in the daytime, 2 bedroom in the night. And this is how it has come about. And we say that this is our final battle, a house for every Indian. But today, the most important dictate, we have seen everything, we are seeing, whatever I have learned, I have told you And I'm saying this because I'm saying that do not make that mistake. It is not that I was intelligent enough to learn from before. I have learned it the hard way. But today, the most important dictate is climate change. The biggest crisis of our time is climate change. You are hearing about floods, you are hearing about disruption in climate. It is not a thing which has just happened by real fluke. It is because we have done several things in a wrong way. So I'm asking, ask the right question. Is our population, bursting of population to this extent, is it right? Okay. What we are doing for fossil fuels, is it right? Uh, what we are doing for garbage, is this the way to do garbage? Is this the way to throw our garbage? Is this the way? What should we do about our garbage? Is it right? Okay. What next? What next? Alternative fuels, or what, there are so many things to be done. And this is, I do not have that much of time to talk to you about this. For just about climate change, we can talk for more than 2 hours. But I'm just giving you a thought. The world is in the way we are doing, it is sinking. It is so, and what we are saying is that this is what I always said, that we do not inherit this earth from our forefathers. We have borrowed it from our children. So it is for us to leave when we depart from this earth. It should be that we have left this earth and our house in a proper condition, that our kids lead a happy and a prosperous life. So, is this what you want to give to your grandkids? Floods, hurricanes, earthquakes. Do you want to leave that? Or this? Or this? We need innovative ways of so many things. Water recycling, we are cutting our forest, we are degrading our land, our farming is not in the right manner. We need new policies for everything. How to build, we use wood, we use so many things. Should we use these materials in this manner? There are so many questions. That's why I am saying that what we teach our newer, younger generation is how we should do things in the future, that our environment will be preserved. And mind you, this is what we did for Infosys when they had sent to me to do a campus in China. And when I had gone to the site, the whole campus, the whole area was an orchard. And I said, where will this orchard go? And they said, oh, no, it will be gone. So I said, no, let the orchard be there and we can have our buildings. We never built this because it was too expensive. But what is expense compared to the whole world coming to a stop for nearly 8-9 months? So many lakhs and lakhs of people dying. So we have to increase our green cover. We have to increase our forest cover. And the only way to do that is to restrict our urban area. The urban area, but with the increase in population, we cannot restrict our urban area. We have to build more. So we have to go higher. We have to make our cities more dense, with better circulations, better transportation. And this is what we did for ONGC. When they wanted us to make a building, we made it into a mound of earth where we can have greenery and it will match properly in Dehradun. And this is how it looks. This is how it looks. We always say land is a precious commodity that cannot be produced. Remember that. And cities are eating farmland, farmland are eating forest, which is not true. We have to curtail that. In fact, we have agreed for Paris Accord also that we will increase our forest cover in India by nearly another 12%. We cannot take that from farmland. Otherwise, we have to go in for completely different kind of farming because we have to feed more people. So we have to take from our cities, our urban area. And as I said it, we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We have borrowed it from our children. So, ladies and gentlemen, uh, understand that. And we are the first generation to know we are destroying our environment. We are the first generation. And maybe the last generation that can save it or which can do something about it. So think it over. And I would say that as a favor, I would say that please watch Planet Earth presented by Sir David Attenborough, which will make what I'm saying in the last few slides very, very clear where we are heading. Thank you very much. I hope you liked it. But I feel that whatever I had to say, I've said it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. It was like I have no words to express whatever you talked about today. Would you like to take some questions, sir?
If somebody is wanting to ask, I'll be delighted. I have no objection.
Yes, yes. Okay. Are there any questions, Meenal madam? Meenal ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Shaili can ask some questions. Yes, ma'am.
Can you please take it? Okay, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Please unmute her.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, sir. Thank you for such a frank and unusual presentation, which was full of ounces of information and your personal take on it. We have a set of questions from the students. I may start asking with your due permission.
Yeah, please.
So, sir, the first question is, as one of the top architectural firms in the country and worldwide, sir, what do you look for the portfolios of applicants and interns? Do you look for any must-haves? It is asked by Harsh Gandhi from 4th year.
Madam, see, I have always seen one thing. Though in the portfolio, we want to see that is the student creative enough. That is the first thing that I see, whether the student is creative enough. And I firmly believe that each and every individual is a different kind of a person. And when an individual is a different kind of a person, if that person is a hardworking person and creative, or even if it is not that creative and hardworking, one can put that person to that kind of a work that he or she is ready to do. So I don't see that everyone has to be a brilliant architect. We need architects. We need somebody who can do other things also in a firm. And the most important thing is the person should be a willing worker, and that is the most important thing as far as I'm concerned. Does it answer your question, madam? Hello?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
So there is one more question. Your inclination towards designing high-rise structures is no hidden truth. Any prime difficulty that you faced during design concerning structural design, and how did you tackle it? Pranjali Maheshwari, 4th year.
Madam, a high-rise design is not like uh, uh, in a high-rise, the most important thing is the cost. So unless and until you know the structural design itself, you know the principle of structural design, then and then only you will be able to give a proper high-rise design. Otherwise, the structural engineer is going to say, "Oh, this will not work." When you do a high-rise building, you have to take care of earthquake, you have to take care of proportions, you have to take care of wind, you have to take care of noise. There are several factors that you have to take care of. And if you don't take care of that, your high-rise building is not appropriate and it will go too expensive for a person to construct. So you have to know your structure. And as I'm telling you, in colleges today, not enough emphasis is given to structure and services. You have to know your structure and services in a proper manner. And as an architect, you have to guide your structural guy also that I want it like this. Then and then only your building will be proper. Otherwise, your structural engineer will eat you up. And if you are not a proper leader, cannot lead your job properly. So you have to know your structure, you have to know your services, and that's why I would make a request to each and every student that you have to give a lot of emphasis on construction, services. You have to know your construction properly. If you do not know your construction properly, you'll never be a proper architect. Because how can you design if you do not know your construction? You have to know your construction. And for high rise, it is absolutely imperative that you have to know your structure.
I think, Shaili, we should end the question answer session. I know this was such a thought-provoking presentation by you, sir. So their minds must have been ignited actually, and that is what was the purpose of the entire talk series. And it's my pleasure. I don't know how to thank you, but from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for going out of the way and sharing your experiences and sharing your takeaways. These are all life lessons for the students, which would definitely are going to help them out. And the most precious lesson which I feel is all your 10, you talked about around 10 dictates which you learned throughout your practice of last 40 years. And the last one, that we are the first generation to know we are destroying our environment, and the last generation that can save it. This is a very strong message which you've given to the students. And I'm really thankful to you for taking out time and being here and guiding our students and the young minds. My sincere thanks to Honorable Chancellor Sir Dr. S.B. Muzumdar and our respected Pro-Chancellor Madam Dr. Swati Muzumdar for constantly guiding, motivating us and supporting us in all these endeavors. And once again, thanks a lot. But before we end this session, my students would also like to express their thank you, their gratitude for you. She's Pranjali Maheshwari from 4th year, and she would like to express the students.
Before Pranjali says something, I would like to thank Dr. S.B. Mazumdar and
Namaste.
Sir,
One thing that I like most was your idea that one should have bank of ideas. And you are a great banker of ideas. which I have experienced and which I will continue to experience. Thank you, Hafeez, for your enlightenment.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It's a delight working for you, and I'm looking forward to the Nagpur campus getting over and taking more photographs and showing my further presentations. I'll be showing, how access and everything,
Yes.
beautifully well, sir.
And come out
Very much, sir.
beautifully, and
Thank you, sir.
it has become a pride of Nagpur.
Sir, I always say, if there is a good building, out of 100 marks, 55% goes first to the client. Remaining 45, out of that, only 15 goes to architect, remaining goes to the contractor.
No.
Not
I
have a
disagree. I disagree. People appreciate Nagpur project more for architect than for building.
But sir, just imagine, if not for you, this kind of architecture, nobody would have approved it and the project would not have come. So you take 55% of the marks, sir.
Your message to students is very, very important. And the message, my dear students, is mind your client. Try to understand what client wants. There are some architects who impose their ideas on the client, which is not proper, but I have seen and experienced a fish contractor who really cares for what client wants, and I have experienced it. This is a wonderful advice that Hafeez Contractor has given to all young students.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And it coming from you, it really makes it 100% truth, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I think now the lady wanted to say something.
Thank you, sir. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest, as rightly quoted by Benjamin Franklin. Respected and most distinguished chief guest of the day, Architect Hafeez Contractor, sir, Honorable Chancellor Dr. S.B. Mazumdar, sir, Pro-Chancellor Dr. Swati Mazumdar, madam, respected Director Dr. Gauri Shiurkar, ma'am, beloved faculty, and my dear friends. It seems to be a great honor to propose the vote of thanks from SSAUTP family to all who have helped us in making this webinar a very resounding success. First of all, I'd like to give my hearty vote of thanks to our guest speaker, Architect Hafeez Contractor, sir, for gracing today's webinar. Thank you, sir, for an excellent presentation and making this webinar a very meaningful and interesting one. I'd like to express our deep gratitude to Honorable Chancellor Dr. S.B. Mazumdar, sir, for his presence in this webinar. I am thankful to our Pro-Chancellor Dr. Swati Mazumdar, madam, for being with us this evening. I also thank our beloved Director Dr. Gauri Shiurkar, madam, for her guidance and moral support. I am happy to express a vote of thanks to our faculty that has made this webinar a grand success through their motivation and dedication. I'd like to give my vote of thanks to all the guest attendees for their participation and for their overwhelming response. I would thank the volunteers, student coordinators for the involvement they have shown and the willingness they have expressed for the smooth conduct of this webinar. Thank you so much. Finally, I thank the wonderful participants who have turned up in such a great number, not only from our college, rather from various other colleges and organizations at national level. Thank you so much for your active participation. We all hope to see you soon in the upcoming events, which will be announced very soon. Have a great evening.
Thank you so much once again to the management, to our Honorable Chancellor, our respected Pro-Chancellor and Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Manimala Puri and Hafeez sir. It was once again, I would like to really underline that I have been your fan since I was a student. My daughter also did her internship in your office 2 years back. So it's been in my family to be your fan, and with this presentation I've seen the side of yours which we never knew about, which is a teacher in architecture, and that is really, really commendable. And thank you so much. Looking forward to having many, many more such meaningful interactions with you. Thanks a lot. Have a great day and take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
I request Swati ma'am also to say a few words, because she also wanted to thank you.
A wonderful presentation, and we always knew you were a great architect, but I think today we can comfortably say that you are a great orator also. And a great orator is somebody who inspires. And one thing I wanted to tell you, Architect Hafeez, that you've done so many projects, but the project you did for Symbiosis is going to go down in the history because universities are known to be eternal. And every time the Symbiosis Nagpur campus is mentioned, your name will get mentioned synonymously with that. And it will go down in the history of education that such a grand and beautiful campus was created by you. I'm a witness to seeing that campus at the inauguration. And I must put on record our simple appreciation for what you've done. It's absolutely a piece of art. Thank you once again for
Thank you very
sharing.
much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank
I
you.
think it was a very right note on which ma'am ended, that universities are eternal, and this building will make that architecture eternal. So thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Garam.
Bye, sir.
Bye-bye.